What's good, everybody? It's your brother Mad Black, and I'm black up in your face again with some more pro black commentary. So, I saw a very interesting TikTok video, and it was posted on one of those like black hair sites or social media pages that I follow. And it was very interesting, and I went through the comments section. It was basically talking about this young lady was talking about how she has brothers in her family, but none of her brothers would ever date a black woman that is her shade or darker. And then, I went through the comments section and a lot of the women were agreeing with her and even going as far to say is that their brothers and the men in their family don't even date black women at all. Light skin, dark skin, no matter what. They all date outside their race. And you might have some males in your family that might be the same way. And I watched the video and I looked at the comments and I thought about this, and it didn't make me upset. It didn't get me mad because I've seen this myself just growing up. Whether now I will say that most of the men in my family are with black women, or at least have been with black women at some point. But I can only maybe think of, I would say maybe four men in my family total, and that's including like cousins and further out relatives like nieces and nephews that have been with someone outside their race. For the most part, most of my family is with someone who was black. But I have seen this, and I saw this a lot when I first got to high school. So I first started noticing this when I got to the high school that I went to. While it was still majority white, like it was a private school, it was still majority white. But what I enjoyed about it was there were a lot of black kids there, and more specifically, there were a lot of black girls there. Like you probably, if you had seen me my freshman year, I had this gigantic smile from ear to ear that there was a bunch of black girls in this high school, right? So I was happy. But I noticed that a lot of the other black males there wanted to chase after the white girls. And I remember at the time I couldn't understand like why that was, why that was a thing. Like why with all these black girls here, why are you guys trying to run after, all these white girls who most of the white girls didn't even want these guys, by the way. Uh, unless they were like the captain or a major athlete at the school. For the most part, these white girls didn't want anything to do with them. But what was interesting to me was the black girls were still attracted to a lot of these black guys. But like I said, the black guys didn't want them. They wanted to get them a white girl. Which for me, it didn't bother me because I'm like, more black girls for me. But then I was the one, at least until my junior year, I had trouble getting with black girls because I was nerdy. But like I said, they like the athletes or whatever, and the black guys who didn't like black girls, they want to chase out the white girls. But like I said, just looking over this thread and looking over those comments, it just made me think about, you know, and I see it a lot with the younger generation as well, where you have a lot of young black men always wanting to chase after white girls or girls of a different race than them, because this subject comes up a lot. And before any of you knuckleheads show up, this is not me being the dick police. This is me trying to actually do some thinking and figure out what's going on here. Okay, uh, it's more than just there's some self hate involved, but it's more than just that. In my opinion, I think a lot of it has to do with like propaganda. A lot of it has to do with the how the media feeds our minds. This, in fact, the same reason that you have little black girls who will pick a white doll when they do like the doll test, and they'll pick the white doll and say the white doll is pretty and the black doll is ugly. That's the same reason why I think a lot of black males will go out there and pursue a white female, even at like a young age. And a lot of it, like I said, a lot of it has to do with the propaganda. Now, partially, it might be whatever is going on in that black male's home life. Okay, the old quote of seeing a black man with a white woman. A lot of people say you must hate your mother, right? Or you don't like your mother. In some cases, that's actually true. There are some black males out there who dislike their mother. Now they might not say that out loud because that's not really a thing you know, that's usually very frowned upon in our community for us to come out and say we don't like our mothers. So a lot of black men will kind of keep that at a subconscious level and keep that internally. And it manifests itself by getting a woman that looks nothing like their mother. You see what I'm saying? So in that regard, it might be that. It also might just be their environment. So maybe even if you do have a good mother and you love your mother, the women that are within your community don't look or might not be appealing to you because you consider them all within the same poor or deprived situation as you. You see what I'm saying? So for a lot of black males, getting a white woman is almost a status symbol. It's partially, that's why you see a lot of black male celebrities and athletes get a white girl. It's a come up. It's no different than when it's not even so much that they love this woman. It's more so that they just got a brand new house, a brand new car. They got all the wealth they could want in the world or all the riches. So I got a white girl as well. It's a status symbol. So, it means I've graduated. I've moved away from the hood and out of these poor circumstances. That's why you see a lot of this where, these black guys might have a very humble beginning. And once they come up in fame or something like that, or get a lot of money, they'll get a white female. Because like I said, it's part of a status symbol. Because white women are put on a pedestal and are put out there as beautiful. Like I said before, it affects you on a psychological level. Like think of all the TV shows. Like I'll just give you an example of like what I went through as a young man. Growing up in the early '80s, I was very much a comic book fan, so I watched a lot of sci-fi and superhero shows. So as a young boy, Linda Carter, who played Wonder Woman, and Erin Gray, who was on the Buck Rogers show, I thought those women were the epitome of beauty. You see what I'm saying? But that was what was pushed in my face for me to watch, and like I know these, like realistically, these women are not perfect, but that's how they're portrayed on TV. It continues on even into, when you watch films or think about like a lot of the young people TV shows we used to watch, like in the 80s and 90s. The white girl was always portrayed as perfect. What was her name? Dana Plato on Different Strokes. She was portrayed as perfect. Now, anyone who knows about Dana Plato's real life knows her life was effed up. But she was portrayed as this nice, perfect, blonde hair, blue-eyed white girl that everyone should love and fall in love with. Some of you, she might have even been your first crush if you watched TV around that time. Same way with the girls. What's the white girl's name from I can't remember what her real name was, but she played Kelly on Saved by the Bell. She was portrayed as that perfect blue-eyed brunette white girl that you should all fall in love with. That's why even when I make the jokes about Becky's or whatever, I usually use one of her pictures because I remember she was put out there as the epitome of Becky. She was the ultimate Becky for a while. Like her, then you had, like, if you want a more trashy version of Becky, you get the white girl that was on Married with Children. Yeah, like I said, they had the perfect white girl for whatever thing you wanted or what you felt you wanted. So they had trashy white girls, you had the ones that were more brainy and more smart, or you had the ones that were just pretty and demure, but all the time they were always portrayed as like these perfect angels. And once again, like I said, a lot of these women in real life, their real life is messed up. A lot of them are getting used up, being bust downs in Hollywood, doing drugs and everything else, acting just like what you think black women are. You would think because black women grow up in the hood that they're all crack hoes, and these white women, when they get to Hollywood, they're worse than any crack whore you could think of. But they make them up and they put them on TV and they comb their hair, and you think that they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. And moving on, about shows like Baywatch, where they had nothing but white women on there, but they're portraying these white women as angelic and beautiful. You got Pam Anderson, the big breasted blonde, or you can get Yasmin Bleeth, the freckled brunette with the light eyes. Like I said, it was all media portrayal. And once again, both these women, their real lives were all effed up. They both gone to jail. Pam Anderson is a diseased whore, basically. All types of diseases and mess with all types of nasty white boys. She's a bust down, has been one since before she even got into Hollywood. And multiple guys have been jumping in and out of that. Yasmin Bleeth has had a lot of problems with drugs, alcohol, and everything else. And I guess she's kind of come out of it now. But like I said, these women were portrayed as the top of the line white women. And that psychologically gets into people's heads. And black people especially will think, to a degree, just living in this country, we already think that white people are on a high pedestal and we are below that. So when you have these women pushed in your face all the time, the first thing a lot of these guys want to do when they get some money, some status, is go get them a white girl, because that increases their value in their own mind, whether they want to come out and admit it or not. I know a lot of black males don't want to admit that they're psychologically brainwashed, but you can't make video after video about how these black women are being brainwashed by feminism, or how black women are just being controlled by whatever political party or whatever books or feminist mindset, and then think that none of this stuff has any effect on you whatsoever. You will admit there's conspiracy and brainwashing when it comes to black women and how they act, but with you is you're just trying to get out there and find love. You see what I'm saying? That's nonsense. There's no way that can actually be possible where you are completely unaffected by the brainwashing that goes on in this society, because it's so heavy it affects everybody, even white people, to the point where white people think they are perfect no matter what they do. That's how they always try to come off as they're better than you, even if they are drug addicted. Somehow Hunter Biden is a complete crackhead, but somehow he's still better than all of you. So that's what I'm saying. You got to be careful of the brainwashing that goes out there. So that's why I think a lot of black males get tied into the I need to be with a white girl, or I would never date a woman that actually looks anything like me or my same skin color. Because it's like, from a psychological standpoint, they don't like themselves anyway, and to be with another black woman, that's basically just like staying poor, or saying that you don't have that same status. You're not elevated up with the gods if you're with a black woman. So, like I said, that's what I think. I'm sure there are people who have opposing opinions, or who might have other things to say or add to what I put out in this video. But you go ahead and let me know in the comments section. I very much like to hear your opinions on this. And this is Mad Black, and I will be back with my foot on the devil's back.